So the and colon are often misused because they all indicate a pause in a series. The comma is a punctuation mark, as shown in the parenthesis, used to indicate a separation of ideas or elements within the structure of a sentence. Additionally, it is used in letter writing after salutation and closing. Now, salutation, ऐसे जैसे हम शुरू में लिखते हैं अस्सलाम वालेकुम, so we can put a comma after assalamu alaikum. Or when we say dear sir, we can put a comma there. Or may it please your honor when you're writing a letter to a president or prime minister, we can put a comma after that also. Then the comma is sometimes also used when we have to separate certain elements. For example, the example is this: Nargis wanted the black, green, and the blue shoes. तो नरगिस ने अब 3 किस्म के जूते खरीदने हैं, एक काला खरीदना है, ग्रीन खरीदना है, एक ब्लू खरीदना है. But if we remove the commas from this sentence, that would mean that Nargis wanted to buy black, green, and blue shoe. उसने एक ही जूता खरीदना था शायद जिसमें तीनों रंग हो. So the thing doesn't become clear. So the commas play the main role. Now we know that she wanted to buy 3 shoes, and then the one shoe has to be black and the other green and the third one blue. Then the salutation, dear Uncle Majid, and then there come the comma and separation of two or complete sentences. We went to the Momo movies. Now the action is just one, or the action has two portions. So when we want to separate these two portions in this sentence, so then we use the comma. Now here we went to the movies. तो पहले तो हम मूवी चले गए, फिर उसके बाद जो हमने काम किया, then we went to the beach. So since you want to separate these two actions, so there will be a comma between these two actions. That is the purpose of the comma. The semicolon is used to connect independent clauses and indicating a closer relationship between the clauses than a period does. For example, Jamil was hurt. He knew she only said it to upset him. तो यहाँ जो है कॉमा बात नहीं करेगा, कॉमा गिव्स ए लॉन्गर पॉज देन द सेमीकोलन. तो इसमें we put the semicolon so that the reader can immediately correct why he was hurt. So immediately he can go to the second part of the sentence so that he knows why he was hurt. He knew she only said it to upset him. So this is the purpose of the semicolon. A very short break. A colon has two main uses. The first is after a word introducing a quotation, an explanation, an example, or a series, and often after a salutation of a business letter. The second is within the time expressions. The first example is there are 3 types of muscles in the body. And when you say 3 types of muscle in the body, so then will come the colon. And the 3 muscles are the cardiac, the smooth, and the skeleton. So the तीनों muscle को आपने explain कर दिया after putting the colon. When we come to the time, we can use the colon there also. The example is it is used to separate out the hours and minutes. 12 and colon and 15, that would mean 12:15 p.m. And now when you write PM, PM can be written in all these 3 types. You can write a PM like this, number 1. You can write PM as like this, both are capital, and you can write PM, P full stop, M full stop. All 3 methods are correct, plus this one number 4. All these methods are correct. But once again, the small question arises at the when you come to the 1200 hours during the day and 1200 hours during the night, do you write PM or AM? If it is noon time, 12:00, is it AM or PM? And similarly, 12:00 at night, is it AM or PM? What is your answer? G, what is your answer?
AM.
Which is AM? Midnight is AM or midday is AM?
Midnight, sir.
Midnight is AM.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then 12:00 is coming after 11:59, so it should be PM. Now the correct answer is this is something which is something very questionable all the time, and very few people know what to do. And the best method is when you write 12:00, you should write 12:00 noon. And if it's 12:00 midnight, just write 12:00 midnight. That solves the problem. So you have to be very careful on this. But when you're traveling by air, normally when you say 12:00, that is midnight. And when we say 12:00, during the day, actually when you're traveling by air, or you're making any journey, then they don't say 12, then they come to 13, 14, 15. They continue this 24 hours business, and then it becomes easy to understand. Now, another kind where we can use the colon is this. We can use a colon when we are referring to some kind of ratios. For example, 5 to 8 is a ratio, so we can put a colon in between. 18 to 13 is a ratio, we can put we can put colon between 8 and 13, and likewise between 13 and 21. So it can be used for the ratios, it can be used for the time, and it can be used for to explain something after a pause. So that is the three ways of using a colon. Then we have the dash and the hyphen. Two kinds of dashes are used throughout the written communications. They are the N dash and the M dash. And N dash is a symbol, as shown in the parentheses, used in writing or printing to connect continuing or inclusive numbers, or to connect elements of a compound adjective when either of the elements is an open compound. Like you see in the sentence below, as in 1882, 1945, you can put a small dash there. Now, whether you leave a space on the two sides of the dash, it is up to you. Both ways it will correct. You can leave a space here, you can leave a space here. But you cannot leave space here and no space here. That would be wrong. If you are leaving space, then leave space on both sides. Or don't leave space on any of the sides. And then another example is Lahore-Karachi trains. For example, on the railway station, you go and you want to see how many trains are going to Karachi, from Lahore to Karachi. Then Lahore-Karachi trains mean the trains which are going from Lahore to Karachi. So that is the function of this small dash. When I say the N dash and M dash, I think the people who are familiar with the printing methods, they know what is the N, what is the M. So if you put a dash under N, it becomes small. If you put a dash under M, it becomes longer. So that's why it is known as N dash, and that's why it is known as M dash. And N dash, I will explain to you the purpose of the N dash. And let's see what is the purpose of the M dash. So once again, going back to the hyphen or this N dash is the name of symbol as an N dash. However, it has slightly different usage rules. Use a hyphen between the parts of a compound word or a name, or between the syllables of a word, especially when divided at the end of a line or text. As an example of this use include between compound names, Mr., Mrs. and Dilbar Sheikh. Now, today, if you go to the English or the English of today, if we want to say that Dilbar Sheikh is the Mrs. Dilbar Sheikh, we don't put a full dash here. We don't put a dash today. But in olden English, the dash was added here because Dilbar is the name of the lady, and the Sheikh is the name of her husband. Dilbar Sheikh is not her real name. This is because of her husband. So the N dash was necessary. But today we just simply say Dilbar Sheikh. This is no longer needed. While watching a cricket match, we often we learn this technique of using the dash. Often the commentator says that the batsman hit 4 sixes back to back. That means on 4 consecutive balls he was hitting 4 sixes. So that is when we say back to back, then we have to put these dashes. But when we say vis-a-vis in English, then again we have to put the dashes. Between syllables of word when text is divided. For example, again in the olden English, when we are using word like thoughtful or truckful or anything which ends with the full or so on. So we used to separate them. For example, here in the case of the thoughtful, in Old English, the dash was a necessity over here. But now today, we don't use the dash here. But sometimes it becomes necessary. For example, when you're using in our thesis brickwork, we don't separate the two words. But when we say stonework, then we have to put the dash. So we have to see where it becomes applicable and where it is not applicable. Much of it depends on your general knowledge or comprehension of the word which you are using in your thesis or in your text. Then we have the longer dash, which is known as the M dash. After a split second hesitation, the second slip fielder have leaped for the ball. Now this is the sentence which is being quoted. After a split second of hesitation, the second slip fielder leaped for the ball, or rather leaped for it. तो ये जो है, this is the sentence without the M dash, and this is a part of the cricket commentary which I have inserted here. तो कहना वो क्या रहा है कि थोड़ी देर के लिए रुका कि अब मैं क्या करूं, but then suddenly he jumped forward to collect the ball. So in order to show that pause, which is not very short, not very long, it is something in between, to indicate that pause where he was just thinking, that pause is indicated by this M dash. Once again, after a split second hesitation, the second fielder leaped for the ball, और rather limped for it. तो ये इसका एक्शन है, बट विद सम थोड़ा सा उसने सोचने के बाद ये एक्शन लिया. So that is the purpose of M dash. Once again, the M dash is very rarely used in modern English. And then we come to the three brackets, and they're normally known as the brackets, but they are not, all of them are not known as brackets. One is the bracket, and the second is the braces, and the third is the parenthesis. And they are the uses or symbol used to contain words that are further explanation or considered a group. Let me explain to them one by one. Parentheses, as shown here, the blue one, are curved notations used to contain further thoughts or qualifying remarks. However, parentheses can be replaced by commas without changing the meaning in most cases. For example, Manzoor and Shamim. Now, we want to tell the reader who is Manzoor and who is Shamim and what is their relationship. Now, if we want to explain their relationship, we can put these relationship in the parentheses. Manzoor and Shamim, and then within parentheses we say who are actually half brothers. तो हमने explain कर दिया कि इन दोनों का आपस में रिश्ता क्या है. And then we go to the sentence again. Manzoor and Shamim both have red hair. तो उनको हम बताना चाहते हैं अपने रीडर को कि दोनों का आपस में रिश्ता क्या है. And that rishta is put in the parentheses. And I said at the top level of this slide, ये रिश्ता जो है ये एक कॉमा की वजह से बताया जा सकता है. If we put a comma here and then a comma, another comma here, then the sentence will be okay again. But normally, if we want to add some information, or the information which has to be read immediately or which has to be understood immediately, we can put it always in the parentheses. Brackets, तो bracket सिर्फ ये है. This is the bracket. Brackets are the square of notations used for technical explanation. For example, use them when you look up words definitions. At the bottom of each definition page, brackets surround a technical description of where the word originated. तो डिक्शनरी में आप अक्सर देखेंगे at the bottom of the explanation, the origin or the etymology of the word is given, and always that etymology appears in these brackets. So that is the purpose of the brackets, showing the origin or the basic meaning or the basic formula of that word or the term which you are using. Braces, these are the braces, and the braces are very seldom used in our kind of thesis. We only restrict ourselves to the parentheses or the braces, but or the brackets. We don't use braces in our text, but the purpose of the braces is if you are writing something which is very, very technical, which relates to chemistry or which relates to physics or sciences like that, and you use the terminology and then you have to explain the contents of that terminology, For example, we say HO2 and then you want to explain what HO2 means. Then you can explain that thing HO2 in these braces. So normally the braces are used to explain a formula in scientific thesis or scientific writings.